Justin Fields puts on a dazzling performance as the Chicago Bears beat the Cleveland Browns by a score of 21-20 to win their third and final preseason game of the year and to end the preseason undefeated this year under new head coach Matt Eberflus. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Chicago Bears post-game reaction video, which I'll be doing every single game this year. So if you guys want my post-game analysis, my post-game thoughts after each Bears game, definitely be sure to subscribe to my channel. But today I'll be talking about the very impressive performance that the Chicago Bears first team offense had against the Cleveland Browns. And I know, guys, before I get into this video, I have to preface all this by saying it is only preseason, okay? So whenever bad stuff happens in preseason, you can't overreact too much. Whenever good stuff happens, you can't overreact too much. But guys, this felt a lot different than most years in the past, okay? And that's not me being biased as a Bears fan, okay? Because if you go last year, the Chicago Bears did not look like this in preseason. And yes, I know it doesn't matter at the end of the day, but the Bears offense last year in preseason, we could not score any points whatsoever with the first team offense. I know that Andy Dalton was with the first team offense, but we couldn't move the ball down the field. We only scored field goals. We were getting booed at halftime in our own stadiums. We had crazy amount of penalties in those games, and we got blown out in one of the games too, okay? Against the Buffalo Bills, we lost by a score of like 44-7 or something. It was a very bad, very undisciplined performance by the Chicago Bears, and this entire preseason has been so much different, guys. Every single game, we've won every single game, and these wins don't matter, but the performances in these games, the discipline, the low penalties, the fact that our offense has been able to move the football down the field every single game, the fact that our defense has been very strong in their tackling, in their coverage, all of that matters, okay? All of that can translate into the regular season. And today, obviously, the Cleveland Browns had some guys out, okay? So Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, Denzel Ward, and a few others were not playing in this game. And obviously, those are big-time players that could have made the game a little bit different. But guys, the Browns have one of the deepest rosters in the entire NFL, okay? Don't even ask me, ask the rest of the NFL media, the rest of the public. You know, the Browns are viewed as being one of the better rosters in the NFL. So all the people that they did have on the field, they did have some starters on the field, and you know, the backups that they did have on defense, on the defensive line, at cornerback, you know, they're viewed as being pretty good as compared to other teams in the NFL. So the fact that the Chicago Bears offense was nearly flawless in this game against them, that is still something worth being excited over, okay? Because when I say flawless, I'm not even kidding, because besides the first drive of the game, in which, yes, there was a handful of missed blocks, the play calling was kind of suspect, calling 2 running plays in a row and then having Justin Fields drop back and pass the ball, okay, it wasn't the best first drive at all. And after that first drive, a lot of people started questioning, are we going to see a repeat of what we saw last year in this exact stadium with Justin Fields at quarterback? Okay, it was a horrible performance. Fields was pressured the entire game. We ended the game with like only 1 passing yard. Okay, so Bears fans got a little bit worried, but every drive after that, they scored a touchdown. Okay, the first team offense scored a touchdown and moved the football down the field with ease. And that's the thing, guys, with ease is something you can never use to describe the Chicago Bears offense. I mean, in the past, every single yard is painfully earned, okay? We never make things look easy on the Chicago Bears offense, but the entire night, guys, stuff looked easy for quarterback number 1, Justin Fields. He finished the game, let me read you guys his box stats because they looked amazing, okay? 14 for 16 for 156 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and a passer rating of 146.9. That's damn near a perfect passer rating, okay? Justin Fields, I know it's only preseason, but this is one of his best performances as a member of the Chicago Bears, okay? Completely flawless the entire night, okay? In his decision-making, in his accuracy, in his processing ability to see what's going on down the field, in his, you know, overall mechanics. I mean, he got the ball out super quick the entire night, okay? There wasn't too much holding on to the football. The ball was out within a few seconds, you know, whenever they had, you know, a quick pass going on, which there was a lot of quick passes schemed up for Justin Fields by Luke Getsy, which I'll talk about in a little bit, okay? Luke Getsy had a phenomenal day play calling as well. But yeah, on the quick passes, guys, ball was out super fast. You guys saw his new mechanics, his new release definitely looked pretty slick tonight. Okay, you could see it's a much faster release overall, a much smoother release, and it helped him have the night that he had. Okay, he looked in charge the entire night. He looked like a veteran quarterback beating up on a bad defense. So talking about some plays in particular that I thought were really impressive by Justin Fields, I'll talk about all of his touchdowns and a few other plays as well. I want to talk about this one play, which I'll put on the screen right now, where there wasn't much open down the field at this point. So Justin Fields, after Braxton Jones completely destroys his man. Okay, really good block here by Braxton Jones. Justin Fields rolls out to his left and throws a no-look pass to the sideline, okay, to Dante Pettis, which I have to say, guys, that is an extremely impressive play all around. Okay, the ability to roll out to avoid the pressure using advantage of his 4.4 speed, and then also the ability to find the open guy in this situation. Okay, he didn't force the ball anywhere. He threw a no-look pass in a spot where only, his receiver, his wide open receiver could catch it. So really love that play, guys, by Justin Fields finding the open man. Talking about his first touchdown then, guys. Okay, this is a really well-blocked play by the offensive line. The offensive line gave him a ton of space, a ton of time here to work with. So that's why Justin Fields, he dropped back, looked down the field, looked to the left corner of the end zone and saw Dante Pettis get open, okay, in between, sorry, not Dante Pettis, saw Ryan Griffin, the backup tight end, get open, okay, for a split second and deliver the ball with perfect timing, with perfect accuracy, a nice touch on that ball and right into the hands of Ryan Griffin, okay, for the first score of the game, which love everything about that play. Talking about the second touchdown now of the game. Ton of time here again, guys, okay, a lot of time in the pocket for Justin Fields, which hats off to the offensive line. Okay, they played a brilliant game, and I'll talk about them next. But Justin Fields, drops back, sees Dante Pettis get open. Nice pass, nice catch. Okay, perfect execution on that play. Okay, a shorter touchdown pass, but still, you left a score, okay, on that play. So good touchdown there. And then talking about his most impressive touchdown, I would say, of the game, which I wouldn't say impressive in terms of like it was a crazy throw to make, okay, because Cole Kmet was wide open on this play, okay, but Justin Fields is rolling out, okay, again, another rollout, okay, you guys sense the theme here, a lot of rollouts, a lot of moving around for Justin Fields, and on this rollout, guys, he sees the fullback open for a few yards, okay, he could have dumped this ball off to the fullback, and he would have gotten, maybe 4 or 5, however many yards, okay? But he kept his eyes down the field to see if there was a bigger play developing, okay? That's the best part. That's what I love the most about Justin Fields. He's a big game hunter. He wants the touchdown. He wants the 30, 40-yard score, and that is exactly what he did here, guys, okay? So he's buying some time, keeping his eyes open down the field, and he sees Cole Kmet get open on a blown coverage, wide open, delivers the ball to him, really nice ball, really nice touchdown, okay? And the reason why this was a blown coverage, guys, by the way, for the Browns was that it was a nice play design by Luke Getsy, okay? There was a lot of stuff happening underneath. There was a wheel route that Cole Kmet was on. There was stuff underneath. There was a run they were faking to the right. I mean, this is what the Shanahan offense is, okay? A lot of pounding the football down your throat in the run game, which we did with David Montgomery the first quarter, the first half, okay? David Montgomery had a ton of nice carries, and that created confusion for the defense when we actually pass the football on the play action, okay? Because these players are now coached up to make it seem like they're running the football every single play, okay? But when they actually come out in play action, when they're going down the field, that creates confusion for the defense, especially with all the routes that we had underneath, okay? The Browns defense did not know what to do. And they obviously had, lesser talented players out there, so that factored into it as well. But Luke Getsy took advantage of the Browns defense on that play. So overall, guys, perfect execution by Justin Fields. He showed us tonight, guys, why we drafted him so high in the draft last year. I mean, I know this regime did not draft him, but he showed us why Bears fans were so excited to get him last year, because he is one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the entire NFL when you give him time in the pocket, okay? Last year, he had no time in the pocket. He had like 0.51 seconds to throw the football to receivers that were not open down the field, and we were not taking advantage of his ability to run, okay? We had him sitting in the pocket like a sitting duck, and that's why we saw a lot of bad football last year. But so far in preseason, guys, it has been the exact opposite. So really good game, guys, by QB1. You absolutely love to see it. I'm talking about Luke Getsy now. I want to say that, man, this guy might be the real deal, okay? He's not revealed anything major up to this point, okay? It's been a very basic, very vanilla offense, okay? We're not doing much pre-snap. We're not doing too many adjustments, but he has still gotten the football to be moved down the field by this Bears offense in every single game, okay? We've not gone 3 and out on consecutive drives multiple times under Luke Getsy so far in preseason. And the thing I love the most, guys, is that he's creating a system designed based on the players he already has. Okay, he's not trying to fit players into a system that he already, pre-designed. Okay, he designed this playbook, this entire scheme around Justin Fields. You saw a lot of rollouts, a lot of play action tonight for Justin Fields. And when you know your offensive line is still pretty young, okay, that helps out the offensive line too, okay, because they don't have to drop back and be in pass protection for like super long. Okay, they have a quarterback that can run pretty fast and get to the outside and hopefully get something going, down the sidelines. That happened today, okay, multiple times. So love the motion that we had going on, and also love the stacking of plays by Luke Getsy. Okay, stacked consecutive plays together that went for positive yardage, and he also stacked plays together that made sense. Okay, after a outside zone run, he had a play action pass which confused the defense, okay, because they might have thought that we were running the football there again. So again, taking advantage of that Shanahan type of offense that has worked wonders for a lot of quarterbacks in this league. And guys, after the first drive, he was pretty much flawless on his play calling, okay, scheming up wide open receivers for Justin Fields the rest of the game. So really love the night by Luke Getsy. He still hasn't shown us a whole lot up to this point. It's been a very basic offense, but I'm excited to see what it actually can be when we actually get rolling into the regular season. So good day, obviously, by Luke Getsy. And I have to talk about the Bears offensive line next because, man, I was thoroughly impressed by the Bears offensive line. I know that Myles Garrett was not out there. Jadeveon Clowney also was not out there, which are two of the better pass rushers in the NFL. So they would have had a handful against those better guys. But going up against still, a pretty deep Browns defensive front, they held their own. Besides for that first drive, okay, throwing that first drive aside, I guess they weren't ready to start the game for whatever reason because there was a lot of missed blocks on that first drive. Larry Borum had a few very bad reps in the interior. We allowed pressure. So throwing that first drive aside, guys, they gave Justin Fields clean pockets the rest of the night. And not only that, guys, they were finishing and bullying guys in the trenches, okay? There was a couple plays where Tevin Jenkins, right guard, completely destroyed, pancaked his guy. I'll try to find a clip and put it on the screen right now if I can, but you can see that raw power is on display by Tevin Jenkins, pushing guys into the dirt. Braxton Jones, left tackle, had a phenomenal game. Okay, there was one play, which I talked about earlier, guys. He completely buried his guy going to the right. Okay, pushed him out of the way, pushed him down to the dirt, and, opened up a lane there for Justin Fields to roll out to the back. And the rest of the offensive line guys too, I mean, they were pretty solid the entire night. You guys saw the game, okay? You guys could see that Justin Fields actually had space around him. There was not much pressure on him and had ample time to throw the football down the field. Not too many penalties either, okay? I actually can't recall a single penalty by the Chicago Bears starting offensive line. Ryan Griffin did have a penalty, but he's a tight end, okay? So very well disciplined, a lot of good blocking technique. They seemed like they could hold their own. They had enough power up there, and they seemed like a cohesive unit, okay? They're communicating really well. They're moving well together, and you could tell, guys, they've been coached up pretty well up to this point, in camp and preseason. So really good day by the offensive line. But the play I want to highlight right now, which was probably the play of the game, okay? Not for what happened on that play, but for what happened after that play, guys. Justin Fields gets hit late on the helmet, okay? He's sliding, he gets hit late on the helmet, which has happened way too many times now in his career. I don't know why it keeps happening, but the ref threw the flag there finally, okay? Justin Fields finally got some respect from the refs on that call, but immediately, right after he got hit, Lucas Patrick on the sideline started yelling at the entire offensive line to go up there and stand up for Justin Fields, okay? So that's what you guys saw happen. Sam Mustipher, Tevin Jenkins, Larry Borum, Cody Whitehair, Braxton Jones, they were all in the Browns defenders' faces, okay? Pushing them, shoving them, and letting them know what happened right now was not okay and cannot happen again in the future. We did not have enforcers like that on the team last year, okay? Last year, this exact same thing happened, okay? Justin Fields had a dirty hit against him. It was in the Bills game, but nobody stood up for Justin Fields on that play. But today, guys, in this game, right after, the second after he got late hit, you had a bunch of people in the opposing team's faces, which is what you need, guys, on your football team. You need a culture where your offensive linemen are willing to stand up and fight for your quarterback because that is their duty. That is their job. They're there to protect Justin Fields, and they did that in this game. So hats off to the entire offensive line, to the coaching staff as well for coaching these traits in these guys, and also for Ryan Poles for finding guys like this that are willing to stand up for their quarterback. So that was the offensive performance, guys. A brilliant offensive performance all around in the first half. Scored 21 points, had 331 yards of total offense, most by the Bears first team, and no turnovers by the first team, flawless execution, a lot of good drives going, and there's nothing bad I can say about the Bears offense. Okay, very, very solid performance. But talking about the Bears defense now, guys, it was also a very good performance on the defensive side of the football, even though we had a lot of guys missing. Okay, so I know the Browns had people missing, but we also had people missing on defense. Okay, Jaquan Brisker obviously was gone. Eddie Jackson was not playing. Jalen Johnson was not there. Robert Quinn was not there. Roquan Smith had tightness right before this game. He was supposed to play, but he didn't play last minute because of some tightness. So 5 key starters not playing. Okay, but we still held the Browns offense to only 6 points in the first half. Now, I know that Deshaun Watson was not playing, but the rest of the Browns first team offense, most of them were playing in this game. Okay, you had Peoples-Jones, you had David Njoku, you had Jacoby Brissett, who will be starting in place of Deshaun Watson, and he could get nothing going against the Chicago Bears defense. Okay, forced multiple punts, played pretty disciplined football, had a strong tackling effort, played well in coverage out there, even though we had our CB number 1 not even on the football field. And even though we didn't get much pressure on the quarterback, okay, we had 0 sacks in this game, so you don't want to see that, but there wasn't much open for them down the field. Okay, we had a bunch of pass breakups, we had guys holding their own in coverage, and I have to say, Kyler Gordon, guys, rookie Kyler Gordon definitely flashed his potential in this game. He had a diving pass breakup, which showed off his athleticism. He also had a play where he was covering in the flats, and his coverage forced Jacoby Brissett, I think it was, to go down the field and almost get intercepted. So a lot of good coverage out there, guys, by Kyler Gordon, and also some plays on the ball as well, which you absolutely love to see. I mean, almost every single member of Ryan Poles' first rookie class has shined in the time that they have had in preseason. Okay, they've made some big plays one way or another, and Kyler Gordon did that in this game. But besides Kyler Gordon, guys, who else can I say had good games? I mean, Devontae Harris, he's a backup, but he had multiple plays where he looked pretty solid. Okay, he had 6 total tackles. He had 1 play where he used one of the Browns offensive players and pushed him into the other Browns player to tackle him, basically. Okay, that was a pretty funny moment, okay, and a pretty heads-up play by Devontae Harris. Okay, a big boy play where he basically bullied another guy and threw him into the other Browns player. So he had a good game. And besides that, guys, there was a lot of backups out there. So Kendall Vilder was out there a decent amount. I thought he had a pretty good game, but he could have caught a few picks, which would have risen his stock maybe a little bit. But overall, guys, can't say anything bad about the defense either. We did choke in the second half, but those were, guys out there that are probably going to be cut within 5 days. Okay, so I'm not worried about that. But overall, guys, what a way to end the preseason. Okay, I was really impressed by Justin Fields, obviously, and the Bears offense, especially because we have not seen too much from the Bears offense so far. Okay, the first team offense especially, we've only seen them score field goals, but today we scored 3 touchdowns. Okay, I remember in my preview video, I said that I would be happy if we only scored 1 touchdown. I got that times 3. So I'm going home a happy camper. I'm going to sleep well tonight. I cannot wait until the start of the regular season. I know it's only preseason, but I've seen a lot of good from the Chicago Bears team during preseason, and it makes me think that we might be on the right track to hopefully winning a Super Bowl in the years beyond, okay, because we're definitely building a strong culture here in Chicago. Let me know what you guys thought about this game down below in the comments, but as always, bear down.